available at retail locations. So if I want my letter from my house to say Medford, Oregon postmark, I've got to take it to a retail location. I can't put it in my mailbox. We're not going to get an answer to a simple question like that, are we?
No.
The rest of this is, it's all done. Like he just said, it's all done in gobbledygook. We should be advised of a meeting that coordinates with people's working schedules a little bit more. I mean, you couldn't have found a more obscure hotel to have that. I got lost twice and I'm in Medford. The local service needs to be kept here. Our ballots, our conscientious voters care about enough. They hand put them in their boxes. They hand them to me as a rural carrier. I hand delivered them to the outgoing mail bucket. Now they're going to go in some truck and they're going to go to Portland. I'm sorry, I don't even want to think about going to Portland myself, the way that city is becoming. And you want to mail to Southern Oregon, you're snickering, man. Why are you snickering? You want to move the Southern Oregon voting public's votes to Portland, Oregon, where the high crime is ridiculous? No, please keep it here and give us more detailed information. I also work at the DC plant, and I'd be curious to know what it is you're changing out there, because none of this tells me anything.
My name's Craig Gordon. I'm the treasurer for the American Postal Workers Union, number 342 here in Medford. I want to thank everybody here that came out, and I do not think you're stupid, but I want to give you some explanation of how stupid they think you are, and I'm going to answer your question on that postmark. Okay, Title 39. Section 3691 of the Postal Service Plan requires the Postal Service to provide adequate public notice to communities served by the Medford Mail Processing Facility that will potentially be affected by the proposed MPFR decision. The Postal Service must make available information regarding any service changes in those affected communities, as well as any other effects on customers, including the delay of postmarking originating stamped mail, delay of processing letters, flats, and periodicals because the mail is first transported to a Portland facility before being returned to the Medford facility for distribution. The Postal Service is also required to afford affected persons in the community served by the Medford Mail Processing Facility ample opportunity to provide input on the proposed decision, and then after given that opportunity, take such comments into account in making a final decision. The USPS published on their website in a July 24th, 2023 news release that their business case supports transferring some mail processing operations to the Portland RPDC. The USPS published on their website in an August 1st, 2023 document titled Mail Processing Facility Review Initial Findings that a local postmark will continue to be available at retail post offices. The information provided to affected communities regarding any service changes where a local postmark will continue to be available at retail post offices is misleading. It is not true that when a customer deposits their mail into a collection box located at a retail post office, that a local postmark will continue to be available for the mail deposited into that collection box. Instead, because the mail is considered originating mail, those mail pieces will be containerized and transported to the Portland RPDC for postmark cancellation in that location at the time and date the mail is processed in the Portland RPDC. The published notifications by the USPS failed to make available information regarding any other effects on customers, in particular that customers will be required to bring their mail to a retail post office during business hours, wait online if required, to hand deliver their mail piece to an available postal clerk, and request a local postmark. The failure to provide information regarding these other effects on customers is in violation of Title 39 and the MPFR policy. I provided this comment already to all of you on a survey comment at the surveymonkey.com website. The aforementioned comment, because it was placed through the surveymonkey.com website during the comment period, the Postal Service has failed to discuss the comment at this public input meeting. The Postal Service has shown at this public input meeting that it shall not take such comments into account in making their decision on the matter in violation of Title 39 and the MPFR policy. Thank you.
Hi there, my name is Abigail. I live here in Medford. I am a local business owner. I operate our local co-working space, Medford Co-work Collective. Additionally, I serve on the Business Oregon Innovation Hub group for our region, representing many small business owners and entrepreneur support organizations. The repeated use of the term business case in the presentation today raises a red flag for me. As a business owner, I understand the importance of fiscal responsibility. As a public entity, I believe the USPS has a duty to support rural communities like ours, not focus on cutting costs. The proposed USPS consolidation plans could dramatically affect our local economy by creating barriers for small businesses that depend on timely and affordable shipping. Our growers and makers are a key part of our economy, and this consolidation would significantly hinder their ability to compete in the traded sector. These are not just abstract concepts, but realities that could lead to lost sales, increased costs, and reduced growth in our community. I urge you to consider the broader impact of these plans on Medford's vibrant business landscape and work towards solutions that support rather than hinder our local entrepreneurs. Thank you.
I'm Kimberly Malin, highway contractor out of Shady Cove. Currently, used to be 6 years highway contractor to the top of Green Springs Mountain outside of Ashland. So I didn't hear highway contractors addressed in this situation, in this presentation at all. I also did not hear the folks that are hired in as carrier assistants, city carrier assistants, rural carrier assistants, who do those jobs relentlessly 6 days a week, often 12 hours a day, getting called in on their day off. Like, they do that job relentlessly, often for years, waiting for a career opportunity to open up. So these non-career positions that you aren't giving us a number on, I have to tell you, many of them may have been working in these post offices a year, 2, 3, 5. I know somebody who waited 7 years for their career position. So we're not talking about new hires that we're just gonna let go. These are people that have served and served hard. Additionally, as a highway contractor, the fact that there is zero anything about us in this presentation at all makes me very concerned. Every one of us signed a 5-year and 9-month contract. Every one of us invested in a 120 cubic square foot cargo vehicle that's no more than 5 years old, and in my case had to also be all-wheel drive because it's snow at the top of the mountain. So you have highway contractors, 4 in my little Shady Cove office. I don't even know how many highway contractors there are in Oregon or in Southern Oregon, but you have highway contractors that have businesses built on the U.S. Post Office contract, and you're making big changes and making zero information. My first information I got about this meeting, as a highway contractor, by the way, union person, I feel like I am a stakeholder, and my notification, I saw a letter, a posting on a USPS community page. It's a page run by USPS employees, and they chat. And somebody shared their letter that they got. But Monday, that's when I got notified. And I got notified through Facebook on accident. So also my postmaster, as of Monday, did not know if her post office was still going to be open. So it would have been nice if you'd let the postmasters know before you let the public know that you aren't closing the post offices. So I would ask you to please address what is the plan with highway contractors. These are the people that are serving folks that are living 15 and 20 miles up on mountains. These are people serving small rural communities. I would like to know where highway contractors fit in your plan. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chris Waterbury, Trucking Operations Manager. See where I was going with this. I know that a lot of the changes on the smaller sites are going to be volume driven. We've lost our contract down here, sorry to say. Mail Management Systems has taken over. And my understanding is they have partnered with the Joy. I do know that up in Eugene, where we still have a contract, they are proposing to cut out service to the main office on 2 of 3 runs in the morning, cutting down collections to one time a day. They're proposing to cut out 2 Springfield runs. They've already cut out the Corvallis and the Albany run, and we're still doing those on extra trips, which is costing the post office 3 times as much as it did while it was on contract. You're talking about your contract? We can't change those contracts. You or I can't amend them. Post office can cancel in 24 hours. Not even 90 days. I get a phone call during the day to stop a contractor route that day. That day. Extra trips that we had going to Bend and coming out of THS up in Portland have been canceled. I've had to, of course, when we lost the contract, I had to lay off 32 people. And many of them were picked up by Mail Management. I've had to lay off 2 drivers in Eugene, and we almost lost 2 drivers in Salem, but like I said, we're doing extra trips now. I'm not sure what DeJoy has in mind, what his plan is. I do know that most of it is volume driven. So you folks that are in touch with your outlying sites, make sure that they are scanning the mail onto the trucks and onto the trucks. Otherwise, transportation sees that there's no volume, and they will cut out service to those post offices. And I only know this because that's what we're bumping into right now. So, thank you.
My name's Craig Gordon. I am the treasurer for the American Postal Workers Union, local number 342. I have some a comment to make about the HCR highway contract route drivers. I'm glad that 2 of them showed up and spoke to us. Those of you who took pictures up there, those of you who took pictures up there of the cost savings, if you look at the number of millions of dollars that they're saving, the majority of the money, 3/4 of the savings, is through transportation. All right, the USPS published on their website in the August 1st, 2023 document titled the Mail Processing Facility Review Initial Findings. The annual transportation savings listed in the initial findings show the following estimates: 2.9 million to 4.9 million. That's just in the transportation savings. And if you break it down, it's going to be around $8,000 to $14,000 per day, just because they're going to change how the mail is processed in Medford. However, the Medford processing plant utilizes exclusively highway contract routes, those are called HCR routes, to transport incoming and outgoing mail from the processing facility. The USPS does not utilize their own vehicle service drivers nor vehicle maintenance services for these transportation methods. The station runs made by the letter carrier craft will be unaffected by the MPFR. So there cannot be any savings by switching to HCRs that can reduce costs. So the only way to cut costs is either by adding double or triple trailers, reducing the number of round trips to and from a destination, or to play a shell game where the transportation costs for the Medford processing facility are shifted to a different finance number by the means of drafting language in a reorganization plan that changes the allocation of cost when a facility changes its name from a PNDC to an LDC. All three scenarios that I've just spoken of that can be achieved, those can be achieved whether originating mail is processed first in Medford or if it's sent to Portland to be processed. That's the originating mail. That's mail that has not yet gone through a facer canceller machine in the Medford facility. The number of pieces of mail will not decrease. So by shipping more mail to Portland than before, there cannot be any logical reasoning to believe that the change can result in less space requirements on a tractor trailer. The Postal Service is not being transparent to the public in the information provided thus far. Mel, you're right. When they didn't show a flow chart, they didn't show any way that tells us how they're going to come up with 2.9 to 4.9 million in savings in a year unless they do it to the HCR drivers. The Postal Service likes to use the clause, and I'm going to put it in quotes right out of their handbook, PO 408, the public disclosure of which could cause competitive harm to the Postal Service. They use that clause as a means to redact and keep from the public how their analysis derived at a transportation savings by up to 4.9 million per year. There can be no harm in disseminating that information about the MPFR event and explaining how the Postal Service will decrease 1 or 2 round-trip transportation runs and how the same plans cannot be achieved by keeping the current processing methods in place. The failure to make available information regarding any cost savings, including how the Postal Service derived at those savings to members of the local community and affected employees, is in violation of Title 39 and the MPFR policy. I personally placed this comment on that SurveyMonkey website, and you have failed to address that issue here at this public meeting. The Postal Service has failed to discuss the comment at this public input meeting. The Postal Service has shown at this public input meeting that it shall not take such comments into account in making their decision on the matter in violation of Title 39 and the MPFR policy. Thank you.
Marlon Smith. We've been through this before. We've been through this before. I don't know whether it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Mail was consolidated, sent from here to Eugene. Screwed up our mail service down here. This is going to screw up our mail service again. How does it save the environment to put everything from here, send it to Portland, and then process it, and then bring it back again? Come on, boys and girls. This is a waste of it. Gas is a waste of the environment. This is a waste. Maybe the number of personnel in the current facility maybe needs to be looked at. And certainly we have issues with feather bedding, and I apologize to the union folks. But sounds to me like common sense, good sense went down the drain. And you want to screw our election? Thank you to Joy. You're going to screw our election by sending everything to Portland. And it's a statewide issue. Use your frickin' heads. Thank you very much.
Jesse Smith, Medford local carrier. First thing I would like to address is why monthly? That's my first thing. But the info that was presented, it wasn't plain enough, not enough information. It was too generic. Anyone to make a decision out here. I mean, it was not saying that, you know, your presentation was a waste of time, but it's not enough information for people. And the survey study that was conducted, where do you come up with your numbers? I mean, you just can't just throw stuff on the board and say it's good, because it's not. And consolidation is not good for jobs. They've never been good. You talk about getting rid of jobs. People have car payments, house payments, family to feed, school. You have all these things. Was that considered, or just don't care? And why is presentation with no answers? I mean, we come out here, I know we come out here to give our comments, but we also want answers, and we're not getting it. And it's like, we're gonna put it up there, we're gonna say what we have to say, and you must believe it. It doesn't work that way. I don't think nobody, both sides of me, behind me, I'm sure that they're not fooled by this presentation at all. We are not getting enough information. But I'm sure everybody, like I say, beside me, know exactly what this is all about and what's going on. You know, we do not want to lose jobs. We do not want to lose family members, friends and stuff. Some people cannot afford to move to Portland for a job. This is their life here. And it's like you don't even care. This is a community, and I'm very proud of it. I am, 28 years with the post office, I'm 72, and they're doing everything they can to try to get rid of me now. But I love my job, I love my customers, and I'm not leaving till I get ready. I love the post office. You get your mail, we get our packages, it might not be on time, but we're a community, and we love this area. Don't destroy it.
Is the format, I'm sorry, just got the format, if you want to talk, you just walk up, or is there a
Yeah.
That's correct. Okay, go ahead.
Ed Cooper from Gold Hill. This has been bothering me for a while, unless somebody snuck in and changed it. To the best of my knowledge, the United States Postal Service is the only federal agency mentioned by name in the Constitution.
Correct.
That's what, 240 some odd years ago? And their charter doesn't say a damn thing about you gotta make a profit, but you do have to deliver mail to rural communities who don't have any other services. So, I'm sorry I was late, traffic was bad, but I haven't heard anything today or seen anything on that website that addresses the constitutionality of your hierarchies, consistent degradation of postal services for the people of the United States.
I want to apologize for speaking, though I hadn't listened. I just got here, but actually that's, the apology should come from corporate America. It has to do with- The apology should come from corporate America because it's United Airlines that got me here after spending 12 hours sitting in the airport, spending the whole day waiting in an airport. So I didn't hear the presentation, but I've heard so much. But let me just guess, okay? One, it said, change is good and overcome your resistance to change. Change is good, overcome your resistance to change, because that's just an old-fashioned thing. Doesn't distinguish that, of course, some change is good, some change is bad. But, so that's one bit of ideology of the appended in terms of change per se. Two, I'm sure it was that it's more efficient, and that this is a move towards more greater efficiency. And I think we all know. I mean, in the last week, I've dealt with